We arrived in Bangkok and stayed in the Green Lung area, where we assembled our bikes and planned to ride south and finish in Phuket. Our initial route changed as we went along, but it ended up something like this. We wound our way through the busy back streets of Bangkok, which was a lot of fun, before we picked up the northerly tailwind towards Samut Songkhram. At Samut Songkhram, we had a short river crossing on a ferry for pedestrians, motorcycles and a couple of bikes. After warding off dogs and passing the incredible Hulk, we arrived at our first night's accommodation at an empty resort we shared with one other couple. Next morning, we fought the breakfast crowd for a table before setting sail on the prevailing northerly. Left or right? We took a detour off the road down a narrow soi looking for a snack. It didn't really look very promising, but it opened up onto the beach with a handful of lovely restaurants. We couldn't have asked for more. Shah Am, we rode to Pak Nam Pran, where we enjoyed another deserted pool villa all to ourselves. We even had a water slide. After leaving Pak Nam Pran, we took a detour to the magical Praya Nakhon cave. It was a bit of a trek to the cave, but despite the crowd, it was worth the visit. We thought we were all caved out after Praya Nakhon, but our route the next day took us past Wat Ao Noi, where we experienced the reclining Buddha cave to ourselves, which was absolutely beautiful. Our way to Champon before heading down to Lang Suan on the narrowest part of the Isthmus of Kra. spent a couple of nights in Surat Thani before it was time to start heading inland and across to the west coast.
So we've got off the worst of the highway this morning out of Surat Thani, and we're on our way to Bangkok and the old times pool villa. Woohoo!
It was nice to have a pool at the end of a hot ride, but we did have to share this place with some other travellers.
Initially pushed our bikes up a very steep hill to the Bankok boutique river camp, which wasn't exactly what we had booked. But now we're here at the Bankok river camp, which was what we had booked. It's not quite as ritzy, but it's quite nice down here by the river. So we're going to chill out here for a couple of days.
On our day off the bikes, we took an organised tour on Chowlan Lake for something different. Then it was onwards to Takua Pa. We had come across a few of these vehicles along the way, broadcasting what I assumed was a political message very loudly on loop from a big speaker in the back. This one was travelling in the same direction as us, at the same speed, and it was hard to get away from him. Takua Pa Old Town was a beautiful historic town that we would pass back through in the morning. We stayed in Takua Pa New Town, which wasn't quite as charming, though we did get to dine in a very cheap Michelin recommended restaurant. We made another early start for Thai Muang, which would be our last night before Phuket. Takua Pa Old Town looked even better in the morning. Lovely little stop on the way to Phuket. It had been a beautiful morning ride from Thai Muang along the coast, avoiding the highway, but once we crossed the bridge onto Phuket, we were in another world. It took a little bit of getting used to such a busy tourist area, but we enjoyed the beach, the food, and the people watching. All we need now is to plan the next journey.